Good morning. Well, I'm gonna try to take a ride somewhere I haven't been in a long time. Halfway there, I've been there a few times. Open the door right in traffic. With my van, I'd claim that door. And we were taught to look in the mirror, not open the door. Plus, back then you had the bench seats you could slide across. You'll see that in a lot of the old TV shows and movies. But yeah, we just open the door without even looking. And the people that drive like 20 feet off and you're coming down the road and they're in your lane because they don't want to get close to those people. And we didn't make it. And we're going to try some stuff tomorrow if it's all good. I got the fan on. Probably have to run the heat here a little bit. That's car says 42. Google Maps says 40. Hopefully Sunday morning will be a lot more sane. We're all waiting on you then. I think I could give you a ride through downtown Salem on a Saturday. People are out and about. And there's a train. Maybe be gone by the time we get there. Yeah, so far, unless another one shows up. So, South Ellsworth in the old, be pre-1929 used to be Depot Road. And then now Depot starts just out of city limits. Goes all the way to the end, which is the Lincoln Highway on this road, in this direction. But yeah, this was Depot Road south of Main Street in Salem. And then when he went to Howard, I think Main Street turned to Roosevelt. And then East State Street at Lincoln was McKinley. So you had 3 streets going through town before 1929. Second Street was green, 3rd Street was high. 4th Street School was the North School. High Avenue was East Broadway. And my favorite's Commerce Street, which ran a diagonal from Penn Avenue around Penn Grill to South Broadway near Columbia Street. Unleaded is 0. I'm not sure what that sign means down here. Maybe they don't sell gas anymore. Used to be my favorite car wash here. I'm not sure why they closed. It was the only one that never stole money off me. And gave you enough for your money. So this road kind of starts at 9th Street in Salem. West 9th Street. And changes from Howard to New Garden. And this will take you all the way to the road that goes to the marina at Leesville Lake. after you go through Carrollton. It changes from Route 9, I think, to 322. So it's Saturday. People hurry to shop and see stuff, I guess. Not sure why. So it's like the last of the warm days yesterday, and it just rained all day from the hurricane. So that pretty much kept me home yesterday. I just saw the sign for 62. Hopefully we'll do a little trip out there tomorrow. We did one coming from Alliance. We'll do one going to Alliance and do some history and talk about what it was like to travel. I mean, not too long ago even. You know, as young as most of the gas stations were independent, and they worked on cars, and they just contracted with whoever to get gasoline. But most of their stuff was just working on the cars. Cars needed so much work. There was gas stations everywhere, and they closed up. They went home. You might find one somewhere that was open late, or sometimes you'd find one open all night. Like I said, most of the ones are condom machines on the bathroom walls and stuff. Yeah, we're gonna tip the fan on, one notch. Outside air coming in. Keep the window clear a little bit. So I used to ride bike this way when I was a kid, and then head out on the curve here to the right. You could commute back that way or go to Georgetown or back to Salem. There's a point down there where Georgetown, I think, meets up with this road. And there's like a Seven King Country Club that still runs down that area. That's where I get more tired driving what I used to ride bicycle on as a kid. It seems like I got there quicker too back then. Oh, truck not hauling anything. Well, that's a big antenna off to the left. It's either something going on, a business. Oh, he's got a bunch of antennas. Holy crap. He's got like an array set up in the yard. Seem to think like ham radios make a comeback or something. Basically, you know, it used to be you make your own radio and you got your different bands, you got Morse code. And you talk with people around the world what kind of radio you had. So I had the license for technician or technician plus. I didn't pass the Morse code first time. I never took it the second time. So I was... bought the radio. Didn't really want to talk with these people because that's all they, you know, what kind of radio do you have or something. They're like, mine's a Radio Shack. Of course, like Radio Shack, Sears, they never made their own stuff anyway. We're not sure who made it. It was a good radio. Came with a rechargeable battery and another pack that you put double A's in. So that was what, 2 meter to something, 140 to 144 megahertz. But yeah, the conversations were like, I mean, The Simpsons even made fun of them in the early days. We finally get somebody, I don't know if it's Grandpa or whatever, Simpson, that gets somebody across the world on his ham radio, and I think it's coming across Morse code, and it's, I have a ham radio, and I'm like, yeah, that's about it. they wanted that Citizens band because it's really a good band for distance. Actually, the CB bands are real. They're not a really I mean, you can get 10 miles out of there, but that's because of all the traffic. If that was government or ham radio, it wouldn't have all the use, and it would actually travel further. So, we used to carry one in the car. That was like your emergency contact before cell phones. And then you keep it off mostly because the conversations were like, oh, dear God. The chat rooms became, in the 90s, what CB radios were before that. And 19 was truckers. Emergency was, what, 9? I don't know. And the old ones had 23 channels. The more modern ones had 40. So last I used one, they used them on the railroad to talk around the supervisors up on the Cleveland district. That winter I worked there, and Dad gave me his old one. It was a pretty fancy one. So I went to turn it on this summer or whatever, because it's been sitting in the garage. When I saw the antenna, I thought about it. And it's one of those things that just gathered corrosion or whatever. I thought it's either sitting up there or I'll toss it in the scrap pile. It wouldn't turn on or nothing. Well, it shorted out or whatever. Put another fuse in there. So that's the you get a vibration and sound when you cross the white line, and so you got lane centering and all kinds of safety things on this. But this one doesn't help you steer at all. So there's military people. Our shop. We were the navigation people. The other half was communications, and they would helicopter people. The rescue helicopters said when they fly across country, they could run 200 to 1,000 watts on their HF radio, and it's a long wire that runs up from the rotor back toward the forward fuselage or whatever. You can see in a lot of old C-130s. A lot of modern airplanes just use the skin of the plane for that. So it was a long wire antenna. A lot of the old cargo planes, everything, that's something you use when you do overseas trips and stuff. Shorter the, longer the wavelength, shorter the frequency, and you get more distance, especially on atmospheric bands. So they said they would travel across country and just get bored sometimes, and then tune in the CB frequencies. And there's a lot of truckers and stuff that way beyond the legal limit on what they're putting out, but nothing near what military planes are putting out, especially helicopter or whatever. And it's not traveling awful fast, so it can, unlike a plane, it can keep a conversation going for quite a while. Plus, the line of sight distance is better at altitude. So, yeah, they would mess with truckers with them and stuff. And then we were working an MD-80 at Douglas one day that was going overseas. So MD-80 it's not set up with the fuel to do the Pacific Ocean or wherever it was going. So they move all the seats in the plane and bunch them together, and they put in ferry tanks inside the passenger compartment. So I think there was at least 2 of them. And then in one where the seats go, they put in an HF radio because they'd be flying overseas, and the plane doesn't have its own. And I think they used the skin of the aircraft for that or something. Whatever it was, we needed to do a radio check, and we usually do radio check with Edward Air Force Base, and they were shut down for the weekend. So the avionics guy said, hey, let's see if some CB radio people hear us. We couldn't stop laughing. So he gets a couple guys down there in Long Beach area or something talking on the CB on a Saturday or Sunday night. And he starts talking to him. He says, yeah, how am I getting out? And they asked him, holy crap, what are you talking on? He says, oh, it's just a little walkie-talkie I got from Radio Shack. They're like, oh my God, you're pegging us and over-amping us, all kinds of stuff. And we're just laughing, and he's playing innocent, talking to him and stuff for this Radio Shack. Still not official till you do something like Edwards Air Force Base, probably on the weekday, but a little entertainment. Somebody had an accident there and the stuff's not picked up. What in the world? It's just laying on the ground. Is that something that went unreported? Or something they just decided to leave? Is that whatever's crossing the road's getting damaged, and I'm not sure if it's telephone, cable, fiber optic, or power. I don't think the school zone's flashing, is it? It's a Saturday. Well. So HF radio, it's kind of entertaining when you're doing cockpit duty and stuff a long time ago, because you can tune in all kinds of stuff. Voice of America back then, and there was a lot of propaganda going back and forth between Radio Moscow, Radio Havana, Voice of America, and other ones around the world. And anytime I got something, I'd write it down for the engineers. Give them a little list for frequencies, then they'd give me their list for frequencies. It was on the B1 project. It was like 606.02 or something. Radio Havana or Radio Moscow, I forgot. Jeez, it's been 35 years or more. I know in the cockpit of new 747, I could pick up KNX 1070 out of Los Angeles all the way to Seattle Field in Seattle after 10 o'clock. So they were pumping out the juice. So I know the way to Salineville here. I think we're going to go straight through. Usually you go through the light, and then was it 644 or something? You turn left, and it winds down to Summitville and Salineville. We might take that on the way back. We'll do one of those things where we might try to get lost a little bit. So we got 68.6 on the odometer, 163 range, and 64% battery. So we better slow down. I might do a little charging test again tomorrow in Canton after we do a little local trekking video. Old schoolhouse, Mark McCarn's tractor. It looks like it was a business. I don't know if it's still open. We were looking at another schoolhouse to buy as a home down here, but it needed too much work. It's kind of a depressed area. These guys were making new pontoon boats, I think, here. So 30, there's your Lincoln Highway 9 that goes to Carrollton and down to what, New Philadelphia? Is that what it is? Or 39 is from Carrollton to New Philly. We do want to get a picture of a sign coming down the other way, but we'll see if we make it back this way. The old gas station on the left across the corner there. I got a Lincoln Highway sign on my left with the red, white, and blue L. So this road here goes from Times Square out to Oregon somewhere. I thought the dog was a statue at first. That's a cute little place on the left. point we're going to turn some air on. It's like temperature's dropped. Didn't get done what I wanted to get done this week before the temperatures dropped. So I used to travel out this way all the time, either doing real estate or when my nephew went into the military, served in Iraq and Afghanistan, and we go down here and fix something on the house or keep an eye on things. I think we fixed a leak in the hot water tank. We put new, got some O-rings, replaced O-ring and something like the spigot on that. I know I replaced a seal on his toilet or whatever. Put a new thermostat in the house. Just kept an eye on things. So I was pretty sick doing that. I think we're going to try to go straight. We haven't never went straight before. We've gone to the left, never gone to the right. Huh. So I heard out here there's like a place that's got a bunch of old photomat booths stuck on the roof or on a hill or something. Yeah, I've never been down this road. Whoa. Oh, it goes over the, what was that, the Baird Branch of the railroad. Pretty sure. Some kind of little exotic car following me. I don't know if it's a BMW. It's got a long nose like the old Jaguars and stuff. A pretty narrow road. They seem to be in a hurry. Never been. As far as I know, unless my parents took me down here, I've never been down here. I like that curb sign. So the point is, we're going to come down here and then head east. There's a couple roads. Was it Kirk Road? There's another road or something I noticed on the little map. You go into Carroll County here, so it wasn't covered on the. Let's say I've got a 20-year-old Columbiana County map hanging on the old front room wall, and then I put the 1958 Columbiana County map laminated right beside it. Wow. So I don't have any Carroll County maps. Usually got to get those at the county engineer's office. Hollow Road. That sounds familiar. Take ahead back to 644 or 664, whatever it was. So something new. Like I said, I don't know if my dad ever took me out to these places. He always wandered. Rainy days he couldn't get any work done around the house and stuff. He went on trips. So I think we're going to take a little video break and then turn it right back on, so we've got a split in case something happens. We don't have to edit too much. See you in a second.